Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's your meme of the day brought to you by 5mind.com. Yeah, it's pretty much always the same stages. You know, there's stages of grief and then there's stages of woke. There's a predictive behavioral pattern here. Let's call it the woke script. The far left is on the defense, and so of course, they immediately pivot to all their same talking points. It starts with more racism and then devolves to some of their dumber talking points. And this is one of the dumbest woke lies. In comes the leftist racial drama. You can't kick illegal Somalians out of the nation. You can't close the door to Somali immigration because apparently Somalis, quote, built this nation. Oh man. Yeah, we're reaching late stage woke here. Later stages, that's for sure. These people are getting desperate. Let me show you guys exactly what they're saying and why it's complete nonsense. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so let's first start off with this Pramila Jayapal clip. You know, if Pramila Jayapal is involved, you're about to hear something real high IQ.
The majority of Americans across the country, regardless of political party, know that immigrants from all over the world, Somalia, India, wherever they're from, Latin America, Africa, that immigrants have built this country and make this country what it is today.
Quote, this country was built by Somalis, Indians, Latinos, and Africans. What a complete, absolute, and utter farce that is. And this line, of course, it gets rolled out over and over and over again. It's the left's favorite line in their endless attacks against Western civilization. The goal is always to diminish Western civilization, to strip it away as the real origins of American greatness, and rather replace it with this new woke rewriting of history, this retconning of American history, into some vapid, emotionally satisfying, historically false story where everything good is automatically credited to the, quote, minority, and everything bad, ooh, the evil white man, the boogeyman, the left's favorite cop-out for everything. They want so badly to tear it all down, to completely erase and frankly eradicate Western history and American history. Their entire narrative is built around this idea that America was built on the backs of slaves, built by immigrants, as if from day one, the country was simply a plantation under a flag and everything prosperous, it was stolen off their ancestors' backs. The notion is laughable, and this was built by Europeans. They want so badly to diminish European greatness, to completely redefine or utterly destroy Western traditions. And the first step of that is, of course, discrediting the entire premise. But you can't let them do it, folks. That's why fighting CRT and the 1619 Project was so important back then.
CRT cartoons are laying the groundwork for reparations. That's it. You get a whole generation of black American children thinking Lincoln was evil, America is racist, slaves built the whole country, and we owe everybody waving their family tree around to a lawyer $2 million a head. Now, with someone who's 0.1% black, I might be entitled to a check, but I'm going to put my own financial interests aside and preemptively decline reparations. I know it takes a strong person to do that, but it's not that easy for everybody.
Because this rewriting of history was exactly what they were trying to teach your kids. To strip away all the nuance, all the context, all the facts, the perspective that should be applied to a proper understanding of history. They wanted to strip it all away and just hammer this one message that America is evil. White people were the oppressors and they built everything on the backs of your black friend in 2025. It's all a bunch of nonsense. It's gibberish. And it's yet again another grievance narrative used on the unsuspecting masses to divide and conquer. And clinging on to these narratives of victimhood, to these historic grievance narratives, it does not serve you, especially when it twists your mind into thinking that everything good about Western civilization is something that should be demonized, that it's the enemy, the root of all evil, because the exact opposite is true. Slaves didn't, quote, build America, neither did immigrants. No, what built America was the original European settlers who established a certain economic framework and paradigm paradigm, certain moral foundations that allowed the groundwork for a strong, prosperous, and decent nation, the constitutional framework, the common law tradition, the property rights, the work ethic, the cohesive religious and philosophical worldview that believed in ordered liberty. That was the bedrock. That's what created the environment that not only built America, but that also freed the slaves. And whether you want to admit it or not, because, I don't know, you have some sort of personal insecurity issue, you simply have to put your personal emotions aside and accept that that is American history, that is European history, that's Western history, and it should be properly attributed, not stolen for your woke fantasy whims of the hour. The European settlers didn't build America with their ideas and their culture and tradition. No, it was the Bangladeshis in New York City. Give me a frickin' break. These woke frickin' platitudes, these idiotic panders, they're so utterly dishonest and completely detached from reality. And of course, they're used as emotional weapons to set this precedent that if you deny it, well, oh, you just must be a racist who hates people from Somalia. You know, that's obviously what Ilhan Omar's doing here.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as a fabric of this nation. So not only are we not going anywhere, we are not going to allow anybody to make us feel less Minnesotan or less American.
The exact same kind of shtick. Somalis have, quote, always been seen as the fabric of this nation. Really? What is this ridiculous rewriting of history? Do I really need to say it? Is it not plainly obvious? No. Somalis have not always been at the core of America's cultural fabric. Somalis just recently entered American history. They're a very recent, very small percentage of the population. But now to imply that somehow they're part of the country's founding, that they built the nation and are a core component of American culture and society, it's pure fantasy, it's pure leftist platitude. And it makes it even more insulting when you're saying this, talking about being, beneficial to America, when the facts are coming out showing the exact opposite. This particular community being a huge net burden on taxpayers. The left's response, of course, always when dealing with these cases, is never to grapple with reality, it's never to meet us on realistic terms, no, it's to double down on the idiotic slogans. But we built this country, therefore you can't ever have an opinion. That makes me feel even the slightest of negative feeling. As per usual, the purpose is always the same: to shut you up, to guilt trip you into silence, to imply that the mere asking of the question is somehow a moral crime, a line that should never be crossed. But that simply isn't the case, and the claim itself is stupid, and it's frankly insulting to imply that Western civilization was built on your back and that we're supposedly the bad guy because we have an issue with widespread systemic fraud. Give me a break. What a bunch of laughable claims. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.